I think a huge part of that is an overemphasis on psychology. We live in a very psychologized culture. And to some extent, this was the joke we were making when we were talking about Jesus not being a hippie. We don't see a lot of psychology in scripture. We don't see a lot of psychology in the words of Jesus himself. He wasn't particularly concerned with people's feelings,
Right.
particularly concerned with their thoughts, not in the sense that our thoughts can't have a morality, because of course they do, but in their thoughts, in terms of their thoughts being more real than what they do as a person. And there's this phenomenon now in our culture of people saying, well, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. And mostly what they mean by that is, I have a set of feelings that I cherish, but I don't tie those to anything that I do. And interestingly, we're seeing more and more of this creep into certain kinds of American Christian traditions where you see more and more people who want to say things like, well, I'm a follower of Jesus, but I'm not a Christian, or I'm a follower of Jesus, but I don't go to a particular church. And we also see this in this very strange, incompatible tendencies in our culture that are kind of a new form of Gnosticism, where on the one hand, cremation is on the rise more and more and more because we don't value the body over these feelings and emotions and psychology that we have. But on the flip side, everyone is completely obsessed with optimizing their physical health because they don't want to die. And so there's this fear of death. It's where we started. There's the fear of death that drives this mania around physical health, while at the same time, people are effectively being Gnostics because what they really care about are their own thoughts, not their physical being and what their physical being does in the world. And there are certain ideological movements in our culture that have taken this to quite an extreme, where there are people who they think they are in their head is more real than what their body says they are as a person. And we've
Mm.
created an entire movement out of that. And we're not here to get into that debate. But where I find that interesting and useful for our discussion is the way of the life of faithfulness is the stuff you do, not the thoughts in your head. And there's quite a lot from the saints that tell us, like, okay, you don't feel like you love your neighbor. That's fine. Treat your neighbor with love, and eventually you will feel like you love them. Start with the doing, and your thoughts will come around later. And that's okay. But if you try to think about it until you do it, you'll never do it.